Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. I think this video will probably go up today. Oops. Anyway, I wanted to sit down and film something for you all, sharing what I personally consider to be my top 4 retinol products available right now. I'm going to walk you through why they're effective, what they help with, and the best ways to use them. Now, retinol is more of an umbrella term that refers to topical vitamin A. Within topical vitamin A, you'll find retinoic acid, which is something you can only get with a prescription. Retinoic acid, also known as tretinoin, has been around for decades and decades. Back in the 1980s, researchers discovered that it offered impressive anti-aging benefits. It works by boosting collagen production in the skin, which smooths the look of wrinkles and fine lines. On top of that, it also helps shed sun-damaged skin cells and can even eliminate precancerous skin cells, making it a very powerful option with numerous benefits. That said, it does require a prescription, and while it is highly effective, the downside is that in the beginning, it can be incredibly irritating. A lot of people simply can't tolerate it and eventually give up on topical retinoic acid, also known as tretinoin. Because of this, there are a few other alternatives worth exploring. The number one option that I frequently recommend to you guys, and I have many videos dedicated to it, is adapalene. Adapalene, which you might also know by the brand name Differin, was once only available by prescription, but just a few years ago, it became accessible over the counter. Adapalene is actually a naphthoic acid derivative of retinoic acid. That might sound overly scientific, but essentially it's a third-generation retinoic acid. What that means is scientists modified the pharmacology and structure of retinoic acid to change the way it's delivered to the skin and how it interacts with receptors. That's how adapalene came to be. The thing is, we haven't had adapalene available for nearly as long as tretinoin, so the amount of data we have on its anti-aging effects isn't as extensive. Historically, it's been used almost exclusively for treating acne over many years. However, newer studies, though still relatively small, are showing that adapalene is actually quite promising as an anti-aging ingredient as well. Clinical trials have demonstrated improvements in actinic keratoses, which are sun-damaged skin cells I mentioned earlier, and research also shows it can reduce solar lentigines, or sunspots. One of the best things about adapalene is that your skin doesn't have to do anything to activate it. It already comes in its active form. This allows it to directly bind to retinoic acid receptors in the skin. You can purchase adapalene as Differin gel, which is made by Galderma, or as part of La Roche-Posay's Effaclar line, through the same drug, just sold under different brand names. I often get questions from you guys about which ingredient can help brighten sunspots, also known as solar lentigines. You might notice them on your face or even on the backs of your hands. Adapalene is a scientifically backed option for treating them. And not just that, it can also improve the look of wrinkles and fine lines with consistent long-term use. So, how should you use adapalene? The best way to start is by applying it at night. At the end of your day, wash your face thoroughly to remove makeup, dirt, and oil. Then apply a moisturizer and give it enough time to absorb completely. After that, apply the adapalene. This method helps reduce the irritations some people experience with the product. When it comes to timing, many people, including myself, prefer doing their nighttime skincare routine a few hours before actually going to bed. If that's the case for you, wait to apply your vitamin A product until you're about to get into bed. That way, the moisturizer has had enough time to absorb fully and dry down before you layer on the adapalene. If you're the type who showers, does skincare, and hops straight into bed, that's fine too. Just make sure your moisturizer has dried completely before putting on the adapalene. Now, unlike retinoic acid, adapalene is stable in light, which means you can use it in the morning without worrying about sun exposure breaking it down. You can also apply it to other body areas besides your face, like your hands or forearms, if you're dealing with sunspots there. Interestingly, these body areas are usually less prone to dryness and irritation, so you may not even need moisturizer first, though you certainly can if your skin feels sensitive. When it comes to your neck or upper chest, you need to be more cautious, since adapalene tends to concentrate in oilier areas, and the neck has fewer oil glands. It can cause more irritation there. That's why I usually suggest avoiding heavy use on the neck. For treating photoaging in areas like the chest, neck, or around the eyes, some of the other products I'll be talking about today may be better suited. Applying adapalene around the eyes is also tricky. It can be irritating in that delicate region. Still, it's much less harsh compared to retinoic acid. So, if you've had a miserable experience with tretinoin, adapalene could still be a viable option, since it's generally easier to tolerate. Beyond its benefits for sun damage and aging, adapalene also helps with active acne and can improve hyperpigmentation, whether from sun exposure or from leftover acne marks. Now, I want to clear up something a lot of people ask about: pores. Many of you wonder whether these ingredients, like adapalene, can shrink pores. The truth is, pore size is mostly fixed. What adapalene can do is make oil glands a bit smaller, and by reducing sebum and clearing out built-up dead skin cells, it can help pores look better over time. But here's the catch. When you start using it, your pores might actually look bigger at first. That's because the product removes the dead skin and debris sitting on top of the pore, which had been kind of disguising it. Once that buildup clears, the pores become more visible, even though they haven't actually changed size. Over time, with reduced oiliness and fewer blockages, they can look smaller and healthier. But don't be surprised if they look larger in the beginning. That's normal. This same principle applies to other vitamin A products I'll be mentioning in this video as well. The next ingredient I want to talk about is retinaldehyde. Retinaldehyde is a topical vitamin A derivative, but unlike retinoic acid or adapalene, it falls under the category of cosmeceuticals, meaning it's not regulated by the FDA for treating a specific skin condition. Here's how it works. Retinaldehyde has to be converted by your skin cells before it becomes active. The cells responsible for this are called keratinocytes, and they need to be at a certain stage in their development to perform this conversion. That means not every cell will do the job, which results in a slower and more controlled release of vitamin A into your skin. Despite that, retinaldehyde is an evidence-based ingredient that can improve wrinkles, fine lines, and collagen production in the deeper layers of the skin. It's also effective for hyperpigmentation and pore health, though again, remember that caveat about pores looking bigger as the dead material on top is cleared away. Over time, with reduced oiliness and fewer blockages, they can look smaller and healthier. But don't be surprised if they look larger in the beginning. That's normal. This same principle applies to the other vitamin A products I'll be mentioning in this video as well. The next ingredient I want to talk about is retinaldehyde, and the reason why I wanted to mention the Avene Retrinol 0.1 Intensive Cream again today is not only that it uses retinaldehyde in a slow-release form, but it also has clinical studies showing its effectiveness around the eyes. Crow's feet, for example, are notoriously hard to treat since vitamin A products often cause irritation in that delicate region. But this cream has been shown in actual clinical studies to improve crow's feet safely thanks to its gentler delivery system. That's why I feel confident recommending it, especially for those of you wanting to tackle fine lines around the eyes. It can also be considered for use around the mouth, where irritation is common, and even on the neck. Because it's formulated as a cream, it doubles as a moisturizer in your nighttime routine, meaning you don't have to fuss about layering a separate moisturizer first. Just cleanse your face, apply this cream, and you're set. That being said, it is on the pricier side, so if you want to save the product, you could use a regular moisturizer for your whole face and apply this cream only in targeted areas, like crow's feet, smile lines, or spots of hyperpigmentation. When adding it to your routine, start slow. Use it once a week at first, then move up to twice a week, then every other night if your skin tolerates it. The key is not to rush. Vitamin A products don't have to be used daily to deliver results. Even using them once or